It's time to go. We are starting our Pastor Lloyd morning show. Um, just want to make sure you guys are good. So let's start off by giving us a good morning chat. Good morning to everybody. Y'all know how we do. Let's get into it. Today we're talking about the fact that you got everything you need. Let's go. Good morning. Once again, we are back. Great to be here. Got my coffee. My daughter bought this mug for me, so I'm glad to be drinking out of it. Um, we had a great weekend of football. As y'all seen, my 49ers pulled it out, so I'm glad about that. Just glad to be here. Glad to be able to interact with you guys this morning. If you have not done so, go ahead and send me a chat, a good morning to let me know that you are up. So many people are sleeping right now because some of us don't have to go to work because of the weather and all this good stuff. And the kids are home on what they call an asynchronous day, um, whatever that means. So if they come down making noise, y'all know what it is. So we thank God for another day. You got everything you need. You got everything you need. Um, and I'm hoping that this morning, all of us recognize that you may not have everything you want, but it's worth giving God the praise because you got everything you need, right? And, when I think about how we do, we always feel like we need something else that we don't have. We always feel like we need more than what we have right now. But the truth be told, um, all of us have everything that we need in order to get to the next level. Get to the next level. Now, what do you mean by that? Because we spend a lot of time complaining about the things that we don't have, not recognizing that within you is already everything you need to succeed. Everything you need to succeed is already locked up in you, already available to you. But for some reason, we think we need more. We need more contacts. We need more money to make this go. We need this, we need that. But the truth of the matter is, we got to be able to see the gift that God has given us, even when it's not in the way we would like to see it in. Good morning, everybody. In other words, you can look at the tree and never see the raw material that you can take that tree and build a house with it, right? All the raw materials you need are right around you in order to get to the next level. You got enough sunlight, you got enough food, you got enough energy, you got enough vitality, you got enough brains. And since you have everything you need, we need to stop saying, I'm waiting in order to do this. I'm waiting to start that new business. I'm waiting to do whatever, because you've already got in you everything you need in order to survive. Not only to survive, but to thrive. I want to share with y'all a scripture this morning, um, talking about Matthew chapter 25. Matthew chapter 25. And it's talking about, and I don't know if I'm going to read it word for word, but I'm just going to give you a sense of what the story is about, and then you can go back and read it later. But there was a master, or an investor, who had 3 servants. And he gave these servants, one of them he gave 5 talents. And back in those days, money was what talents are what they call money or cash or whatever, currency. 5 talents he gave to one guy. I think it's 2 talents he gave to another guy. 1 talent he gave to the other guy. He said, I'm going to go on a trip, and when I come back, I want to see what you guys have done with these talents, right? So he said, when I get back, we're going to settle the books and see what's going on. So when he got back, the one with 5 talents, he said, I took those 5 talents and I doubled them, right? I doubled those talents. And now here's your 10 talents. He told the servant, well done, my good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. Come on, and I'm going to make you ruler over many. Right? He said to and my wife over here, man, all this. She working her coffee. Okay. But he said to the second guy, he said, okay, I gave you 2 talents. What you got? He said, came back. I got 2 more talents for you. Well done, my good and faithful servant. Now, although he only had 2, he still doubled what he had. All right. Then there was another guy. He said he gave him 1. Now, you would think this guy only has 1 talent. It's not really fair, right? Because he only got a little bit of money to invest, but he took that money. He said, Master, I knew you were a hard man. I knew you were an investor. In other words, he said that I knew that what did he say here? I knew that you were a hard man, harvesting where you do not sow and gather where you have not scattered seeds. In other words, I knew you were a guy who would put his money out and want his money to work for him. You're an investor, right? I harvest where I don't plant. In other words, I don't do the work. I let my money work for me, right? But the one who had 1 talent, he said, I buried it. I wrapped it up real nice. And when you went away, I made sure that nobody got to it. And he said, here it is. He said, you're a wicked servant. He was upset with the guy. Why? Because he thought that just because he only had 1 talent, it wasn't enough for what he needed to invest or to make it more. So he said, I knew that you were an investor, but I didn't want you to lose money, so I buried it. How many of us are burying what God has given us? How many of us are burying those things that God has entrusted us with, right? And so we have to understand that in us is everything we need to survive. Not only that, it's everything we need to thrive. Bye. Love you too. In a seed, right? Let's think about the seed. In a seed is all the potential it needs to become a full-grown tree. In a seed is everything it needs to become a full-grown tree. In other words, if you surround that seed with enough nutrients, with the right dirt, with the right water, 100 times out of 100, it's going to produce. It's going to, if it's a seed that is a healthy seed, it's going to produce, right? Stop thinking that the things you need are outside of you. They're already in you. He said, greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. But if you take your seed, you take your talent, you take what God has given you and you bury it, you'll never be able to see the potential and where God can take you, right? So today, understanding that I have enough. I have enough. In me is everything I need to survive. And good morning. If y'all haven't done so already, go ahead and put good morning in the chat and say we ready to go. And good morning. CP. Now, Eric called me CPB. I think it stands for coach, pastor. What's the B for? I forgot the B, Eric. Let me know what the B is. I forgot. But yeah. But everything we need to survive is already in us. Greater is he that's in us than he that's in the world. So when you think, and my brother, okay, cool. All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. So everything that God has given us already is perfect. It's perfect. The soil, the sunlight, the water. He's given us what we need to get to the next level. He's given us what we need to get to the next level. But if you don't look at the tree and see the potential that can come out of it, some of us can look at raw material, the tree, the stones, the water, and be able to see something that is not currently. So you may feel like, no, I don't have enough, but trust me, if you have the raw materials and the vision, you can take that tree and turn it into a house. You can take that tree and turn it into a chair, right? Because I can see right now something in it that is not. I can pull something out of that tree, out of that situation that is not right now. And that's all success is really. It's taking what other people have walked past and turn it into something that's great. So you've got everything you need, right? You got everything you need. I don't know what we're trying to get to today, what we're trying to thrive, what we're trying to reach, right? But you got enough. You got enough. What's y'all thoughts on that? I want to put your comment up about how God has given you gifts and you know it, right? And being able to use those to achieve greatness. And we talked about, excuse me, if you're just coming on, we talked about the parable where the man gave the guy one talent, 2 talents, and he gave another guy 5 talents. The one with 1 buried his talent, and he was never able to. He never did anything. And the guy called him. He said, "You're a wicked servant, right? Because you never used what I gave you." Why are we not using what God has given us? Maybe we can answer that question, right? Why are we not using what God gave us? So when you think about where we are, right? Where we are. It's not about how much we're making on our job right now. It's about what our job is making us into, right? It's about my situation. Am I getting better today? Am I putting my gifts to use today, right? Am I making sure I put everything that God has given me to use? Am I putting everything that God has given me to use? One of the main things that I'm doing now is I'm scheduling everything in my life, right? So I wrote a schedule out. 4:50, wake up. By 5:20, I'm at the gym. Come back at 7, study. 8 a.m., I'm on with you guys. Because I want to be able to be a good steward of the time that God has given me. I don't want to be able to, I want to be able to account for everything that happens in my life. Right? If I ask some of y'all right now how much money you need to start that business, you know you want to start it, but you don't know how much you need. Like, I'll have you making an account for everything that you want to accomplish in your life. Have you written down the goals? Because everything you need is already in you. But it's about surrounding yourself with enough nutrients, like that seed, with enough soil, with enough sunlight. Because the good thing about you is you got legs. You can move to where you need to go. You got a mouth. You can get people out of your life that don't need to be there. right? So we can make the decisions and put ourselves in the right spot. But I want to be accountable for every moment. Like, I know how much cream is in this coffee. It's a tablespoon, right? I want to be able to say at the end of the day, this is what I consumed. This is where I spent my time. And there are times where, you know, those plans get altered, whatever. Hey, somebody want to go to lunch. But I'm able to really, okay, I'm going to take 30 minutes out of my, work time, and I'm going to apply it. All right. Let's look at, Eric said, your gift can be muted when you are in the wrong room. That's correct. Key is always move. Potential energy is just that, potential. Those talents aren't seen until you move around. Absolutely. So potential is really like dormant power. And one of the worst things that somebody can tell me, I feel like, and I've heard it for years, is that you got potential. Right? Because I'm like, why isn't, I would hate to die and the things that were in me never got out. Miles Monroe told a story about the richest place on earth, right? He said the richest place on earth is not the diamond mines of Africa or the oil fields of Iraq. He said that the richest place on earth is the graveyard. He said because in the graveyard were songs that were never written, book ideas that were never written, ideas, multi-million-dollar ideas that were never produced. Why? Because the thing that was trapped inside of that person never was able to get out. Right? So being able to just have potential for me is not enough. I want to see my potential actualized. And I think that everybody else wants to see that as well. Right? I think everybody wants to see that. But the thing is, so let me ask y'all this. What's stopping us? Because this is a show I want to interact with everybody. What's stopping us from reaching our potential? Because it's not raw material. You think about it. What billionaire do you know is satisfied with all the money he got? Or is he still trying to get more money? You'll never have enough. But the thing is, are you willing to do more with less? Right? What's stopping us? What's stopping us from moving forward to our potential? Let me ask you this, or put this in it as well. The Bible says in Psalms, right? It says, as a man thinketh, so he is. You are who you believe you are. You are who you believe you are. And many times we think that we are who other people say we are. If somebody say to you, hey, stupid, hey, dummy, right? And then you say, well, how do they know? Right? You're accepting what other people have called you. How can you say somebody hurt your feelings when your feelings are supposed to come from your thoughts? You believe their thoughts about you. So therefore, now you're calling yourself, I must be what they call me. So now you're answering to when somebody say, hey, dummy, hey, stupid. Right? You believe their thoughts about you. But who you are is enough to get where you're trying to go. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So nobody can make you have a bad day. They can give you a bad moment. And then I remember my son, he used to come come home and say, I said, Nas, how was the day? How was your day? He'd say, terrible, bad. And I say, why? I broke my pencil, right? And it was a moment, but it was like that moment had turned into something that was ruined the whole day, right? Ruined the whole day. It's amazing too, because we start to question, why in the world did I let that affect me so much? Right? Why did I let that something that somebody said move me to the point where it's ruined my whole day? And I can relate to that even just last week. I mean, I would get a phone call, and the phone call or email and the whole thing, it messed up my whole day. But we can't let others distract us from where we are trying to go, right? And what we're trying to do. So the last thing I want to share with y'all today before we get out of here is this quote by Wayne Dyer. He said, pressure shows what's inside of you. Pressure shows what's inside of you. And he used for an example an orange, right? He said, if I squeeze this orange really tight, he said, what's going to come out? Now, I'm going to let you answer that. What's going to come out? Is it going to be apple juice? No. 100 times out of 100, it's going to be orange juice. There'll never be a time where grapefruit juice is going to come out of an orange, because the creation that God made is absolutely perfect. There are no mistakes on that, right? Well, the same is with you. When you're pressured, what's coming out? When somebody squeezes you, it could be with anything, stress, whatever. When you're squeezed, what's coming out? 100 times out of 100, whatever's in you is going to come out. Is that right? Whatever's in you is going to come out. So if you got a lot of hate in you, 100 times out of 100, hate is going to come out. If you got a lot of envy in you, a lot of whatever's inside of you is going to come out. So we got to do a better job of filling ourselves with better material than we have been filling ourselves with. If all you hanging around is negative, if all you listening to is negative, if all you're doing is negative, when you're squeezed, all you're going to be able to produce is negative. Right? So it's understanding that, and it's understanding that if you are going to succeed, put some stuff in your life that is positive, right? The blessings of God. You should be praying and meditating on the word every day, because whatever's in you is going to come out. I know who you are by how you act under pressure. We saw some good football games this week, and I was watching the Bills last night. Crunch time, everybody being squeezed, and you see one team. I seen one guy, run the completely wrong way on defense because during that time of pressure, what's in you is going to come out, right? So all of us are challenged in those ways. So my question is to you, what's been coming out? Whatever you put in. Because you got the dominion to put whatever in. You got dominion to put it in, right? You got the ability to put it in love, put it in charity, put it in hope. And you got people who, I seen Dick Gregory, I think his name is, talk about hope being this. He went on a rant about hope, but hope is what we need. It is what keeps us surviving, right? It's not to say that I hope and not do anything with my hope, but my hope keeps me going. When I pick up this glass, I'm hoping that I don't spill it, right? I believe that I'm not. So it ain't, hope is not a bad thing, but hope and you just sitting there doing nothing, that's a bad thing, right? I hope I'm gonna get a job, but I don't fill out an application, right? I hope I'm gonna get a husband, but I don't comb my hair when I leave the house, you know? So it's understanding that. But I appreciate y'all today. As a man thinketh, so is he. You got everything you need to make it today. Everything you need to make it, you have it already inside of you. Greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world, right? There's nothing that you're lacking, nothing that you need. Everything you have is already inside. Okay? I'm just, hoping that we get this today. I'm hoping that we get this. Everything you need is already inside. All right. Good morning to everybody again. Good morning to everybody. I see all of y'all in the chat. And I'm looking forward to what we got going on for tomorrow. I've been dealing with, and me and my wife talked about it yesterday, but it's going to take me a minute to kind of put this together. But I found out that I'm a people pleaser. I found out that I'm a people pleaser. So I'm looking forward to talking about that. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow because I got to work out some things in my own heart and my own life. But if that's you, message me about you being a people pleaser and how that has affected you negatively. Like, it's certain things that, yes, it affects you positively because you can make positive change if you're a people pleaser, but has being a people pleaser affected you negatively? Have you given your life to other people? So that's what I'm working on. Maybe tomorrow, maybe this week, but we're going to talk about that. But I want y'all to be ready for that. Yeah, I want y'all to put y'all prayer requests in my inbox. Anything that you want to pray about. Y'all know I'm always here, ready to hear from you guys. So good morning to everybody. Y'all have a blessed and prosperous day. Love you guys. Peace.